greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Anyway, welcome to the State Department. I think we have some interns in the back. Welcome. Good to see you in this exercise in transparency and democracy.
Is that what it is?
Sorry,
I thought it was
I didn't mean to break
I thought
out
it was an
laughter.
exercise in spin and obfuscation.
All right.
My, what a peculiar place to have a party. You know, Dino, we really shouldn't be doing this. After all, we haven't been invited, and curiosity often leads to trouble. Goodbye, Dino. Goodbye.
Hey guys, TMF. So we have entered the next phase of the censorship clampdown with this latest great purge of YouTube, of course, and their attempt to remove all you-know-who-anon related channels on the morning of October 15, 2020, Thursday. They initiated their next clampdown phase and in a matter of hours removed countless channels relating to this. And I'm going to call them the JAnon movement from now on. JAnon. You read between the lines why. But joining the ranks, of course, of Twitter and Facebook, who've already initiated their phase and taken the steps to remove countless groups, entities, and organizations relating to this as well. So, bottom line is what we're dealing with here is they're setting the stage. Okay, it's just one step closer, another stepping stone towards their ultimate goal of the complete and utter destruction of free speech online, any speech in general relating to questioning your government, and plain and simply, of course, conspiracy theories. Okay, one step closer to their vision of a scenario where conspiracy theories, bottom line, will be terrorism. Do you get it? That's where we're headed, and we're not too far off, people. And if you don't think we're not too far off, you better wake up. But here's the criteria for YouTube with their announcement on how they're going to be removing just another added layer of censorship and how they're going to be removing videos relating to this. Quote, any content that targets an individual or group using conspiracy theories or with conspiracy theories that have been used to justify real world violence. And there it is. There's another added layer of justification for them to remove thousands and thousands of more videos and channels from this day forward. Right? And there it is. That's the PSYOP, or at least part of it, to lump us all together with them. And so if we mention what their premise is, with what we've been exposing for decades, okay, what we've been exposing for over a decade on YouTube and online in general, about the satanic New World Order cabal, right? So now they've used that to twist that for their agenda to silence us all. There you go. There you have it. But what are these real world violent events they're referring to? Oh, nothing but staged psyops, staged events that they set up to set the stage for this censorship. So as you saw in the coverage I've shown on my other channel with the news clips here and the examples they've used, of course, going back to the Hoover Dam JAnon nut who barricaded himself in an armored vehicle, blocked traffic, right? Okay, and then you have the the Comet ping pong shooter, right? He shot up the joint. Oh yeah, he shot up the pizza parlor in the name of JAnon. Yeah, sure. Okay, and then you have these supposed murders that are taking place with mob bosses being murdered in the name of JAnon as well. Oh yeah, sure. So you got people murdering people, shooting up joints, blocking traffic, you name it. All in the name of this entity that has been engineered, created, and steered since day one by the same people who are carrying out this censorship. That's right. But millions of people who are entangled in this, ensnared into this trap, They are not going to figure that out. They are under a spell. Okay? They are under a spell, and guess what? That brings us to the next point here. This is why this is so, absolutely so dangerous and so ingenious and clever and works to perfection for them, because this allows all of these people who are being censored, and of course the people following them, to now, you know, have even more of a stronger conviction and belief of this movement. Okay, so this reinforces their belief and gives them even more, and gives this concept and this movement even more credibility in the eyes of these people, right? It vindicates them. It's a reverse psychology, fake street cred tactic. We've seen it been used before. Prime example, Alex Jones. You take him down off YouTube, is that going to bring him down at all in any kind of way? No. It only props him up even more. He's 100 times richer and more popular because of that takedown. All planned and all by design. Because he is one of their controlled opposition figureheads, of course. And this is a controlled opposition counterfeit movement with the JAnon and Trump. And of course, Trump goes hand in hand with this operation. Of course. So, moving forward, all of us kooky conspiracy theorist researchers over the years who've been pointing to the reality of a satanic pedophile, human trafficking, child trafficking elite, now that narrative has to be done away with. We can no longer even mention that, because we will be, right, lumped in with this terroristic narrative and group. And there it is. And there it is. So from this day forward, all of these channels and people are going to be screaming from the rooftops, saying how over the target they are, how this proves, once again, how this is more proof that this movement, that this entity is on our side, that it's actually legitimate, and they are attempting to save us with Trump. You're going to hear that in light of this so-called quote-unquote censorship. So, just another step, guys.
Are the implications of that fine by the FTC? Julia Borston takes a look.
Today, I am pleased to announce that Google and YouTube have agreed to pay $170 million.
YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki writing that the FTC settlement marks a big change. Quote, today's changes will allow us to better protect kids and families on YouTube, and this is just the beginning.
Because you people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now. Because less than 3% of you people read books. Because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube.
People being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal.
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Television is not the truth. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks?
And when the 12th largest company in the world controls the most awesome propaganda force in the whole godless world, who knows what will be peddled for truth on this network?
Let's put it this way. Money trumps peace sometimes.
We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. But you people sit there day after day, night after night, all ages, colors, creeds, We're all you know. You're beginning to believe the illusions we're spinning here. You're beginning to think that the tube is reality and that your own lives are unreal. You do whatever the tube tells you. You dress like the tube. You eat like the tube. You raise your children like the tube. You even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
Paid by the CIA, who are working for television networks.
This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Bang! 1, 2, 3! He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl!
No one knows who the Patriots really are. Even my instructions come from a cutout.
But you're the president. You have power.
No, I'm just a figurehead.
What?
I don't have any control. The real power is in the Patriots' hands.
The Patriots?
The truth behind this country. Politics, the military, the economy. They control it all. They even choose who becomes president. Putting it simply, the Patriots rule this country. That's the story given to the general public. Following his resignation, the Patriots selected me, their new pawn for the presidency.
But that would mean that the presidential race was...
That was quite a show, wasn't it? It was a well-scripted drama staged by the Patriots for the benefit of the public. Even the Democrats and Republicans were dancing to the Patriots' tune. It is a means to preserve the world as it is. It will establish a new form of control. The Patriots will use it to keep their place as the country's true rulers. Right now, they feel pressured and threatened.
By what?
They fear an overabundance of digital information. The world will drown in the coming flood of information, and they along with it. The arsenal plans include a system to digitally manage the flow of information, making it possible to shape the truth for their own purposes. In short, the arsenal system is the key to their supremacy.
The key?
Yes, the GW system is the Patriots' trump card. The Patriots' trump card.
The Oracle of Delphi is where you go for information about the future. Thus, the performance is about control of information. In the digital age, the battle for information has just begun.
The president said that arsenal gear was the Patriots' key to supremacy.
That's as good a description as any.
What exactly is it?
It's a massive data processing system capable of controlling information on a global scale.
A data processing system?
That's right. The system's a social device for maintaining the Patriots' control. Now, look at it like this. Political scandal, corporate corruption, up until now, the Patriots have managed to keep a lid on these and other self-serving events. But with their existing data processing system, they're no longer able to effectively control the flow of information generated at the individual level. With the newly created system, they can fully regulate digital information. High-level information can be categorized in stages, given clearance levels, and deleted as necessary, never to be seen by the public.
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed!
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation exists, so will we.
Cut the crap! If you're immortal, why would you take away individual freedoms and censor the net?
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
The mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, And in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic information.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Genes don't contain any record of human history.
Is it something that should not be passed on? Should that information be left at the mercy of nature?
We've always kept records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right. You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content, but to create context.
Create context?
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
Although there are people suffering in poverty, huge donations are made to protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's our responsibility as rulers. Just as in genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and not?
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage you people produce, retrieve valuable truths, and even interpret their meaning for later generations?
That's what it means to create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you?
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist inside of you?
That which you call self serves as nothing more than a mask to cover your own being.
In this era of ready-made truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap!
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right then. Explain it to him.
Jack, you're simply the best. And you got there all by yourself.
Oh, what happened? Do you feel lost? Why not try a bit of soul-searching?
Don't think you'll find anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashioned, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth, in order to make yourself feel better.
Leaving behind in an instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual is supposed to be weak, but far from powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication has given even more power to the individual. Too much power for an immature species.
Building a legacy involves figuring out what is wanted and what needs to be done for that goal. All this you used to struggle with. Now we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays.
I want to know how you're dealing with all these conspiracy theorists on your platform.
So the first way is by demoting low-quality content and promoting more authoritative content, and the second is by providing more transparency for users. So we're introducing boxes that provide factual information at the top of results that have shown themselves to turn up a lot of information that is counterfactual, such as searching for the earth is flat on YouTube, where you see a lot of...
Your response is to put a box saying, nope, the earth is not flat.
Correct.
Okay.
If you notice here, it says Q is a clearance. Okay, it has to do with clearance. Q is access authorization for the Department of Energy. Okay? So, Q, Anon, or anonymous, Q is supposed to be about clearance. Okay. So, this information that's coming out, that's coming through so-called Q, I think it's kind of interesting that also this has to do with clearance, okay, which has to do with data. That's pretty interesting. But what's even more interesting than that, and I wonder if anybody else out there has connected these dots, is that IBM just announced their quantum Q System 1. You think that's a coincidence?
Tonight, the internet will never be the same. This weekend, the U.S. government gave up control of the so-called Internet Address Book. KPIX5 reporter Andrea Borba explains what that is and how it might impact the internet. Andrea.
Well, Juliet, no one owns the internet, but for nearly 20 years, the U.S. government has controlled the official list of every website address. As of today, the government is in control no more. There's one official list of website addresses, and for nearly 2 decades, the U.S. government has been in charge of it. Today, the job now belongs solely to ICANN, a nonprofit based in Los Angeles and advised by a global committee that includes China, Russia, and Iran. When you call up a website like CBSNews.com, the computer retrieves the information from another machine using a unique number. Think of it like a house address for the internet. If an address can be deleted, is now under the purview of ICANN. A deleted address effectively deletes a website.
Q unknown. You start connecting the dots to CERN, and you understand what we read about in the book of Acts, the unknown God. And they're already worshiping AIs. Folks, do you see what's going on here? Somehow, this beast of a network, computer network that's being set up, somehow it plays a part in all of this. There's no question. No question. And don't you find it strange that one of the leading companies out there that works with now they used to be at odds. They actually used to be against each other. Now they're working together. IBM and Oracle. Do you think that's kind of strange?
Meet Oliver and Kathy. Aren't they cute? Kathy got a little overexcited making her lasagna surprise and forgot to turn off the oven. Surprise! You know how there's a limit for how long you can put off car maintenance? Well, Oliver didn't.
Come on!
Hear that? That's how this air conditioner with a failing capacitor cries for help. Of course, if no one listens...
Have you seen this?
And when the appliances revolt, guess who Kathy and Oliver are going to blame? This guy. Bless his heart, he's trying so hard.
Can you hang on one second?
But there's only so much he can do with outdated technology. Well, plot twist, this whole nightmare never actually happened. It was all avoided by a team of connected devices and a fully automated service center. I'm Athena, their loyal virtual assistant. Rather than Kathy and Oliver not taking care of us, we're taking care of them. Remember my smoking oven friend? Well, he and others like him have been sending data back through the service organization. And product development found that ovens were left on by a lot of owners. So Mr. Oven got a genius upgrade that does this. So Kathy, Oliver, and the smoke alarm can sleep tight. As for the car... Hello, Oliver.
Hey, Athena.
I just wanted to inform you of a few maintenance items we need to take care of.
Oh, yeah, good catch. Let's schedule a technician for maintenance.
Great. Consider it done. Oh, and my buddy the AC unit was able to notify the service center about its capacitor all by itself. They sent a field tech to fix it without Kathy and Oliver ever breaking a sweat. But we didn't stop there. We adjusted the security system, taught Kathy about conserving water with her washing machine, and took care of all kinds of other issues before they became, you know, issues.
Athena, set temperature to 68 degrees and close all windows.
Okay. So now that the Olivers and Kathys of the world are all taken care of, the folks at the service organization can focus on making the customer experience even better.
Athena, can you send me the results of the oven firmware updates on the TC17s?
Sure, Chase. You also have 3 minutes until your executive meeting to discuss new automation.
All right, awesome. Tell me a joke, Athena.
Okay, why did the service manager cross the road? He had old technology and couldn't automate it.
Try harder, Athena.
How about this? 2 muffins are sitting in an oven.
We need to definitely try to stay in touch over the emails and that kind of thing. And I do have a number of people who subscribe to my email list. And that's the way they do that is that they go to my website at truthsetfreetv.com, and then they subscribe to the email there. And then I can contact you and get in touch with you and that kind of thing. We can also meet also on Facebook until Facebook actually starts to do the same thing. So we'll see what happens with that. So, but with this YouTube, we really are looking at, again, they're playing a very high stakes game, and there's a possibility, there's no guarantee that a person could be sued $42,000 on multiple videos running into the millions of dollars. And then if a person's not able to pay that, then there could be jail time and otherwise, you know, so we're looking at really draconian practices. And the word draconian means that they're using a very heavy hand for a light offense. And this is what it seems to be deliberate, because nobody could be that stupid. I'm sure the FTC is not that dumb, and I'm sure that there are a number of people who have other things, other reasons why they are doing what they do. Anyway, you let me know what you think about this. Like, subscribe, or don't. But remember, until next time, that Jesus is the light of the world, and the truth shall set you free. God bless.